We're day 9 of the rut. We're in a warm afternoon here. This is going to be a good time to go check some new sign and see what is actually moving on the sign. Right now is awesome because there's a bunch of deer that show up, but where people get lost in, I think, is taking the trail cam data and patterning it in a way of like, oh, well, he's over here 3 evenings in a row, then he takes 2 days off, and then he's in here 2 evenings in a row, and they're trying to pattern it by the day or by the week. It has been proven, and there's a lot of good studies out there, that deer show up at certain times annually. And that's actually what's helped me locate one deer on public. I never have sign of him all year long after season. I'm not even sure where he goes to live, but during the rut, last year, previous year, when he shows up at this time, almost at the day of. Now, I've never been able to figure out how to hunt that little area, but he shows up in it, and so I can account for him. I've seen this deer 3 times. Once, it just slipped through at about 60 yards. I knew not to reposition. I didn't want to set up differently for another day or another hunt. I knew where I was at was, it already had very limited shooting lanes. It was going to be a difficult spot to hunt, but I knew I just needed to hang tight. The second time I saw this deer, well, he came in smart. He had me paying attention to a little forky off to my right, and as I'm paying attention to that, I hear a stick crack to my left. When that stick cracks, I happen to just kind of slowly look over. And as I look over, he's standing right behind me. Nothing I can do. Perfect shot, 22 yards. In an area where I'd already calculated the shooting lane, pre-ranged the distance. Easy. Game over, would have been done. But he slipped in perfectly. Had me duped. The third time I saw him, I actually took a shot on him. Everything would have worked out. He came in on my weak side really early in the morning, right after the time change. I had turned, I could hear him coming in, so I was already ready. I knew kind of what areas I was going to try to get him stopped. He walked right in as to plan. As I drew, fine. He didn't stop. I grunted at him. He stopped, but he also, when he stopped, he turned towards the grunt and took one step, which was fine, and the shot would have been okay. He was only slightly quartering to. But when I took the shot out in front of me, I did not see, it was one last twig basically. I hit the twig. Of all the airspace, I hit that twig. Deflected the arrow. That's not what I practiced, that's not what I trained for. With the best of intentions for these animals. So that would have been, that was very heartbreaking. See if maybe he'll make one more mistake and maybe I won't make a mistake. And this is the Super Bowl of the hunting season. This is the best time of year. But what is it? It's like 73 degrees today. It's, what? Is this November or what? This is terrible. So I'm going to show you something, and this is where I think people who hunt public land go wrong. You don't get very many cuts in a lot of this public land, especially in Ohio, that's clean, straight hardwoods. And so when you find those hardwood cuts, or those just clean, it's from a bedding transition to possibly a feeding area, is what happens is that's where everybody goes. That's where everybody tries to set up because that's their best views. And yes, I can glass into there and I can see sign. But I spent years putting cameras in places like that. And it would be cool. I'd get pictures of big deer, bunch of does all the time. But what time were those pictures? Midnight and 1 o'clock. I was never, I shouldn't say never, but more often than not, was I ever getting pictures during hunting hours. If they're having nighttime movement, Okay, that's great. What direction is that deer going? And then when they find that direction of where the deer's going, you need to keep following a game trail to that direction to where you can get a picture in daytime. And I think a lot of people mess that up, and they love hunting these clear cuts or more clear timbered areas without the undergrowth and all the trash, but it's almost impossible because A, everyone's going there, and B, it's only nighttime pictures. So you're going to get the most errant, uncalculated movement and just not have success. And by not having success, it can wear on you a little bit. Say something doesn't happen during the rut. Now you're hunting into December. It's getting real cold. It's harder to get up. It's harder to sit those days when it's just nasty out. So it's using that data wisely in a manner of, if it's nighttime pictures, doesn't matter. I usually just, sometimes I've even like turned my cameras to only take pictures of daytime movement, just because I didn't want to be fooled or make a miscalculation by seeing that data showing the big bucks or the monsters at night. Because I would be motivated to use that area when that's not an area I should be using or paying attention to. You gotta love seeing, even if it's older, still seeing these rubs. That means stuff's just kind of moving around. It doesn't matter if they've been hit once and then moved on, or they're kind of as a communal rub or a fence post rub where they're hitting it year in, year out, year in, year out. Anytime I see them, I get excited because it's like, there's deer in the area. You just gotta locate them. I'm in where I wanted to get to. And the reason I wanted to get in here is on this ridge, on top of the ridge, scrapes have just now started showing up. We had a very windy past weekend, and these are already freshening back up from the weekend, and I found them this past weekend. I just didn't have any cameras on me. So now I wanted to run back out here, put some cameras on this, and see what's moving in this area. You got a perfect scenario of a licking branch and licking tree right here. And if I were to stand up in that scrape, it's probably just at like 6 foot high or so. So it's just a tad above my head. But you can see there's a nice scrape there. And then look at this tree. I'm trying to stay out of the game trail a little bit. But it's been beat up. Because I have some branch butter. I actually have some urine and some calming scent. And I'm gonna throw a camera in this area just so I can see what's starting to move. So here's what I was talking about. The Evercalm. I love this stuff. Here's the Black Widow branch butter. Here we kind of like rub the limbs and stuff on their forehead, eye sockets, all around to just get their scent and odor everywhere. Then just since it's current time, since I've disrupted things, I might as well put some Screaming Heat from Code Blue down. Actually, this might be a new trick too. I just figured it out. So maybe say you don't have a cell camera like mine does, it pops everything up. But say you want to see if your camera's going to get pictures, you can take some of the slack out of that strap your phone to the front of it, and when you do that, looks like it might show you exactly where the camera. A little bit of follow along with me and kind of what I'm seeing, how I'm reacting to certain situations, and how I'm just staying in the game. Like I said, good luck to everyone. It is the rut. We are, if we're not at the beginning anymore, we're definitely in it. I would say we're in it, but we got, I don't know, maybe another week, 10 days left to go. So let's just take advantage of these. If you're gonna sit, stay strong, choose your spots wisely, just and have good snacks. So I'll see you guys. Thanks for joining Hunt Simple.